Hi everyone, it's Brenda. I'm here with a tutorial for you guys today. As you can see, I have my helper who is going to play with jingle bells, I believe, the whole time. I may have to put them up. Yeah, I'm going to do the cat toy tutorial, so if you're not interested, I understand. I'm just trying to get a feel for how long it's going to take me to do a few tutorials so I know how to break them up. So I figured I'd start with a small one, especially since I'm not feeling all that great, but I wanted to get another video out here. So if I go disappearing for a little bit, you know why. It's just I've been a little under the weather. But I will be back. Don't worry. Just bear with me. And you can see she's going nuts. This is Anarchista. Okay, so what you're going to need is worsted weight yarn. I just have a leftover ball here. I'm really surprised she hasn't gotten this just yet. An empty toilet paper roll that you're going to stuff at the end. Some jingle bells if you want. Not a necessity. I got a bigger size because I didn't want her to get hold of them. These are 20 millimeters. And these I just had in my stash for a while ago. And an H hook, which is a 5 millimeter. Sorry for the glare. H hook, which is a 5 millimeter or an 8, depending on where you are. And it's crochet, and I'm gonna use my pattern here. Come on, move, honey. I actually do have a toy for her over here, one already made. This is what we're making, and it's got a jingle bell at the end, and toilet paper roll is in here. And yes, she does play with it, but she finds the big bag more appealing because she's a plastic monger. Anything that makes crinkly sounds, she loves. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that you know how to crochet. You know the basics, at least your basic stitches. You know how to cast on. Yes, you know how to tie on. So making a normal slip stitch there, slip knot. And I'm going to assume you know how to chain. You know how to slip stitch join. You know how to double crochet. That's all we're going to be using in this. Super simple, super easy, and those are American terms. If it gets too crazy with her, I may have to shut off here and maybe shut the door. But yeah, so to get started, we want to chain 20. And there's 20, with or without the help of a friend. And we want to go right into this beginning stitch here. You see where it makes a V. We would go, yes, thank you, honey. We will go in here, and that's how we're going to slip stitch into that very first one there. So we'll pull up and go through. So you've got your ring, and this is what we're going to start working with. So from here, what I'm going to do is keep this thread here in the front, or the tail, so we'll tie that in later. You can also secure that in as we go along, so we could even do that now so it's less to do when you're done. So we want to chain up 3, and that's going to act as your first double crochet. And as you can see, that is actually going into this one here, so we're going to skip that, and we're going to do double crochet in every stitch around. So just gonna keep going here, and by the time you're done, including your chain 3 to start, is going to be 20 stitches. So you'll have 20 double crochets. Well, you'll have 19 double crochets in one chain 3 space, and that will be your first round. So you see, this really does work up pretty quickly. Even if you go on the slower side, I'm just trying not to tempt her too much with the thread. And you can see I'm holding that tail and encasing it as I go along. And if you're anything like me, you're really gonna enjoy that, because that's one less thread that you have to tie in when you're done, which I am quite thankful for, because I don't mind so much. I know there are some people that absolutely dread fastening, weaving in their ends. I don't mind it so much unless it's a project with a lot, and if it's got a lot, forget it. I try to do them as I go along, otherwise the project probably would never be completely finished. The ends would always be left. Yeah, but so we're going to continue with our double crochets here. We're almost to the end, only have a few more. And as you can see, there's no more here. That is hooked to this one here, and that's the one we just worked in. So what we're going to do is find our third chain, which is right here, and we're going to go into this one and slip stitch it to join them. There you go. So that will make your final 20th going around, and we have our ring. Now what we're going to do is repeat what we have kind of did to start this row by chaining up another 3, and then we're going to go into our first double crochet here. So we'll do that by doing another double crochet. So our chain 3 and that double crochet will now count as 2 double crochets. And what we're going to do is just continue in the top of each one here, going all the way around. So you double crochet in every double crochet below. So you're just continuing that pattern all the way around, and that would be the finish of round 2. So as you can see, this one is really a pretty easy project to work on so far. I think even beginner project. I think double crochet is a great one because it makes you feel like you're accomplishing something, not like the smaller single crochet, which it seems like it takes you forever just to finish one little tiny piece, and it doesn't seem like you have accomplished much. The double crochet was one of the first stitches that I had learned, and it really makes you feel accomplished and makes you want to continue, because see, already just that little bit of talking with you, and here I am ready to slip stitch join again. So this is again going to the top of that chain 3, and we're going to slip stitch, and now you just completed round 2. I mean, that's quick, and you've got right now pretty much 2 inches of work already done. I mean, 20 stitches each, so it works up pretty quick. It makes you feel good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here. You can go back and watch those first 2 if you want, but we're going to do this for a total of 11 times. So you want to do this, you want to do the same thing by chaining up 3 and double crocheting in each of the double crochets all the way around, slip stitch to join, chain up 3, and continue that pattern for 9 more times, because you want a total of 11 sections. When you've done that, we'll be ready to go on to the next section. Okay, we are finishing up the 11th round here. I'm going to do my last stitch, last double crochet, and now I'm going to slip stitch into the 3rd double crochet of the chain 3 space. Okay, and that should be 11 rounds, and I'm going to show you how to count them. You can see the definitive line here and here and here. Those are your rounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we have our 11 rounds down. So now we're going to work on this tail, which I might be able to hold, and I just got her calmed down, so now I'm going to wire her. We're going to make this twisted tail there that you will attach a jingle bell to at the bottom, and I did it with white thread, so you can see it. I just went through one side of the loop and out the other and just fastened them off. make sure you use double thread, make it super tight, and go through a couple layers, so this way it's on there super firm so they can't get it off. Or you can exclude it completely if you've got an animal, a cat or a pup that is fine with just playing with something that moves. She likes the extra noise. I just watch her when she plays with it. And this one I'm working on now, I'm actually not going to attach a jingle bell to. Okay, so what we're going to do now, to get to it instead of blabbering on, is chain 30. Okay, so there's 30 chains. And you could do it a little longer if you want to. I know I've made some a little bit longer, I think up to 44. So you can get a longer tail so it's further away from your hand when you play with them. If you want them to play with the other end, you can hold the jingle ball end and give them that end, because I know like she does, she likes to grab it with all four paws and kind of like kick at it and stuff too. She likes both ways. But the longer you make the tail, it gives you more, see scratches, it gives you more safety from the claws if you play rough with the cats. Okay, so what we're going to do after our chain 30 is we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So we'll count down 1, 2, 3, and in this one here we're going to double crochet. And then we're going to do double crochet one more time. And see now that there's 3 there. So because of our first, where we folded it over, okay, so I'll make 3. So now in our next chain space, we're going to do 3 double crochet. This is the super easy part. You're just going to do 3 double crochet in every chain all the way down to the base of where we did our rounds, our 11 rounds. So just keep going until you got all of those done. I'm going to stay here with you for this one. So if I get quiet, I'm sorry. Sometimes even counting to 3, I just kind of go silent for a little bit. Especially since I'm not quite sure what all to talk about, to be honest. I still have my helper with me, as you can see. And I'm trying to go a little bit slower so I don't make anyone too sick watching my hands go. And you can see it's starting to curl on its own there without any help. And that's because you're putting extra stitches in each space along the way. So it just naturally inclines to roll. And if you do any kind of amigurumi, these are cute little, make cute little hands and feet. Arms and legs, you know, for your stuffies for smaller children. So this way it's nothing too firm or hard for them, if you know, because you want to pack stuffies kind of firm. Because once they get love, the fluffing kind of deteriorates, and then you don't want a flat stuffy after, you know, a couple months of love from a child. And they're also good for your pets too, to make the arms and legs for them, because it gives them more to kind of grab onto without all that extra fluff in there that'll stay wet from their, you know, their saliva a little bit longer than, say, just these curled up bits. Slowly getting there. Yeah, the reason I started doing some tutorial here on some of my, I guess, crochet and knit projects are because I've been having some requests about them, and I'm going to, I think some of the bigger ones I may have to break up into a couple of videos, just for how this one seems to be going and having to stop to go ahead. I don't want to have a whole bunch of like half-finished projects started and kind of left laying around, like some of the videos I've seen where they start a project and then they have the first round and then they tell you so many rounds of that, and then they pull out another project right away that they've already had to that part. I don't kind of like that idea. I guess I could do that, but like with the yoga mat, there's only so many of those that I'm going to use, and to have them sitting around, I'm not so sure I want to have a bunch of yoga mat bags laying around. And also with the baby cocoons, I don't know a lot of people having kids right now, so to have a bunch of those laying around too is a little too much for me. My space is kind of limited right now, so it might have to be done in chunks for videos, so it may be like an installment series. Okay, and our last chain space here, right there at the base, we're going to do 3 more double crochets. We want to keep that going to create a sturdy, firm foundation here, so this doesn't get just like tore off if you've got like a super aggressive animal that's playing. And we're going to go into, see, this one's coming out of this double crochet here. We're going to go into this one, this second one right here, and we're going to slip stitch that one together and chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the second one and chain 1, and that's going to secure that off and make that super tight there. Okay, and I'm going to do something I'm going to tell people not to do. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just going to break the thread by pulling it, because I forgot my scissors. And where I did the extra chain 1, I'm going to just pull that through and pull, and that is secured down. So we're going to weave that end in. So for now I'm just going to tuck it inside, and then what we're going to do is put our thumb on the outside of this and just twist, and this is going to put that curl going in the right direction, so it curls up on itself instead of leaving that big space like it had there. Okay, and keep twisting and twisting and twisting. There we go. So the curly Q part is all done, and it expands and stretches. You can see. Okay, so what we're going to do now is insert our toilet paper roll. So you just take your roll and slide this in here, leaving, about 2 rows, and fold the end in. And this actually is going to be tight enough to hold it and keep them from pulling. And you'll tuck this end as well. And crazy string, I'll get that later. Okay, so you'll tuck this end in as well, and what that will do when you tuck this end in is it'll put that coming out of the center, and when they pull on it, it'll pull out a little bit, but it will not undo. And there you go. All you have to do now is, if you wish, is to sew on whatever size jingle bell you like on the end. I suggest at least a 20mm. And you have your very own replaceable, easy to create, great gift idea, stocking stuffers for animal lovers or your fur babies in your life. And it was super simple and easy and doesn't take too long for you to create. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I'd love to know your thoughts on the tutorial and everything if you have a chance. If not, that's fine too. I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you all soon. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing too. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day.